We need you to fix the Wi-Fi across 65 schools and government buildings in 2 whole weeks. And by the way, we don't have floor plans for any of them. All right. Not a problem. I got this. All I need is $100,000 and a fancy 3D laser scanner. Good to go, right? Yeah, well, we know that did not happen. So I am Aadam Hassanali. I'm a solutions nerd extraordinaire from Trinidad and Tobago. And that last bulletin is my version of a captcha. And by your smirks, I am talking to a live human audience. Thank you, Monty Python. So how do you approach this? Well, you got to be resourceful. Do your usual stuff, right? Ask ahead. Okay, well, I don't have floor plans. You have any emergency escape plans? Anything to scale? All right, well, let me take a peek on Google Earth and export that image as a potential base map. And most importantly, can I pack my drone? Keep it simple. Take your sketch pad, think old school, print whatever has become your base map to mark up, and grab a good laser measure. That's your sidearm. It's going to be on you at all times. You're going to need it. Spend the extra $50 for a good one. Did I mention the drone? Choose your path. You have options here. Do I need to do a verification and a design survey, or do I just need to make a verification survey? Maybe I need to do an improved RF design or AP in a stick afterwards, or maybe I don't, and this is just verification. Cool. Survey, review, resolve, repeat. So, great. I don't need to make floor plans. So I have a patented process called RF survey as you go. It's not actually patented, I'm joking. And let's go to a quick live demo. So I have my Google image here. It comes with a scale. I'm going to ignore that for now. I'm going to take my laser measure, and I am going to shoot it straight down the hallway at the end of the wall. And I'm going to set my scale, just like you would do if you're on site. And then I'm going to measure again from my starting point. I need to know where I am in relation to the eave of the building. I have my distance there, and now I'm 20 feet from the edge of that building. That's my first door. Cool. All right, so I take a look at where that marker is. All right, well, I can take my laser measure, and I can measure here for a sanity check, and I can look around at my other landmarks, if you will, to start. Okay, so let's take a walk inside. Hit my first survey point. I come back out. Usually I would do this first. In this case, with the live demo, I did it second. I'm going to do my walk along the outside perimeter. And now I go back to my measuring device here. And of course, this doesn't matter what you're using. Hamina, Ekahau, same logic, right? I'm at my second doorway, which just happens to be at 40 feet. Convenient. So I look around, I can do my sanity checks again, and I can keep going. And I continue that along. That's my next survey point. And I can continue that for my entire school. Didn't need a single floor plan. Now, I know what you're thinking, so let me help clear this up for you. Live demo worked, didn't need the slide. How accurate could that really be? Well, I'm really happy to say that on one of the schools, I had a technical drawing teacher who told me that, hey, as one of my projects over the last couple of years, I've managed to convince and trick these students into making floor plans for the entire school. So guess what I did? Loaded it up. What do you think my results were? Spot on. So out-of-the-box thinking is really the way that a lot of us in this community get to solve our problems. What could go wrong? Yeah, that was on site in a number of places. And the answer to that is yes, a lot of things can go wrong. So review often. get comfortable deleting survey paths and starting over from segments. Make tons of segments. It's not a matter of if, but when you're going to make a mistake. I accidentally touch a button on my survey device. I trip over a rock or a drain or something around a school or a building. Get as many segments as possible so that it's less time wasted if you do make a mistake. But what if you do have to make these floor plans? All right, well, assemble your team. Your on-site RF survey engineer, in this case, me, at one location, and I had a colleague in another country. He was doing the same at another island. Your off-site, in-house or contracted SketchUp or AutoCAD person, a guy or girl in the chair. We all know that's the way to go. An off-site review RF engineer for collaboration, if you're doing this on a tight timeline. So I was checking his work, he was checking my work, and together we made sure that we got all these islands sorted out. So, rock it old school, like I said. Survey as many of these as possible. I got emergency escape plan in this case. Very rudimentary, but guess what I got back from my AutoCAD guy? Cool, nice. And of course, we had the project manager again who was like, yeah, just use the emergency escape plans. Sure. What is on the left is not what is on the right. One of these is to scale. Don't use the one that's not. Now, this was then, we got emerging technologies, we got better way to do this. Laser scanning has come down, of course, it's no longer $100,000, at least not for every device. You have devices now that can fit in your hands, that you can walk around, and you can actually create, as you walk, a 3D cloud point. So with this now, you can drop this in to your favorite designer, get your 3D maps, make a 2D map out of it. You got one in your pocket, at least for iOS, for some Apple users, as well as Samsung users. You got LiDAR in your pocket now. And with that, you can just follow along the walls and survey as you go. Now, I said survey, I really meant to say make your floor plans as you go. So usually that's not our job. We're not architects, we're not interior designers, but this is really handy to have if I can get it to automatically create those floor plans as I'm moving around. Now, that's 2D, as well as I can get this as 3D because we're using LiDAR, and this will automatically be generated. Gotta love technology and where we've reached. And we're starting to see this pop up in survey devices. This is Ekahau's Just Go survey mode, which I think was debuted here last year, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting use of the word Just Go survey mode. Remember I said patent pending? Yeah, it's not. Apparently not. But we got exciting things on the horizon. And this is now. This is not in the future. And when I say drones, I don't mean you, Mackenzie. Sorry, but thank you. I do, however, suggest checking out his warehouse project with the drone. That was incredible. And it was inspiring for a lot of reasons. This is the next step. This is indoor 3D scanning using drones that are autonomously creating these floor plans for you and creating that 3D point cloud. This is above, below, side to side, and mapping out that 3D point cloud. Now, wouldn't this have been easier if I had to do an industrial site, or if I had to do warehouses, or if I had to do really tricky buildings? Let's say buildings that are unorthodox in their design. Sorry, Jake. And that's where we are. But what do we want to see? What do we want to see in the near future? Well, this is my kind of wish list for the RF toolers around here. I would love to see software intelligence that can map around obstacles based on spot points or incomplete data. And we're starting to see some of this with AP to AP as a sensor data that Hamina has demoed. And we're going to see, I suspect we're going to see more of this across the board. Evolution of our survey tools to take us beyond just floor plans to maybe include 3D point clouds. If the technology is becoming that much more accessible to us from a financial perspective, then it might be something for us to look at. Meshing of AR and AI in survey tools to aid in our 3D RF design. Drew demoed some of the options last year, and I think this is something that will be particularly helpful, especially if we are pushing that we really need to do proper RF designs. And as a community, let's keep that conversation going. As we all do, enjoy throwing that box away. This may or may not be a teaser for my next talk, but we'll get there. So thank you very much, and take care.